Now, there's an airplane there, black.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, on the bottom shelf. Thank you very much. Is there anybody that never flew in an airliner? Okay, thank you. When you fly in an airliner, they tell you that under your seat is an inflatable unit. It's a life raft. You take it out, you put it on, and you try to get out of the airplane. Assuming you get out, if it's in the North Sea, you live about 12 minutes in the water. Okay? When I worked for Northrop, I showed him this. This is 60 years ago. He said, too far out. Anyway, the passenger section disengages. You know what I mean? If you land in the water, it can disengage and float. And there's food and everything in there, and nothing that'll burn. If you're coming in for landing, say the landing gear doesn't come down. This unit doesn't come down. The minute that happens, all the fuel is blown out automatically. Reason, people are not killed in most crashes. They're killed by fire. Do you understand that? So the pilot doesn't have to turn a switch. Fuel is blown out first by inert gas, like CO2. Once you blow the fuel out, you glide in, just like this space shuttle. You glide in. Now the airplane has other factors. Sometimes the plane will land, and sometimes the brakes fail. That plane can plow into people, the hangars, buildings, everything. The minute the brake fails, that turns the arresting gear, comes up on the runway. Looks like a net on aircraft carriers, which I suggested years ago. When the net comes up, the plane can't overshoot the ship. That should be on all public runways. So everybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about? I don't mind repeating. It's a net that comes up, made of stainless steel, that stops the plane where it's at. But the airport is a separate institution. Eastern Airlines is a separate institution. So you have all these different businesses. Businesses to make as much money as they can with the least provisions they can give you. That's the purpose of business, profit. But let's say you're a good businesswoman, very kind. She has 500 women working for her, and she decides to build a playground on the ground for the children, the women that work there. She also helps people with insurance, medical care. I can tell you, no one will invest in your company.
I wouldn't be a very... I would only be a good businesswoman in one sense.
Yeah.
In another sense,
All right.
not good at
You
all.
understand? They can't get investors. If you invest in advertising, new production methods, they'll invest in your company. But if you have humanistic inclinations, you're not good for business. Do you understand that? If the doctors in the old days used to spend a lot of time with people, used to spend, it would cost you $3 to get a doctor to visit you. Now today, they want the doctors in big institutions to move you through. 20 minutes, no more, right through. Or give you a pill. Come call me Wednesday, you know. Now the doctors in the future will be in the middle of the city system. If you people will be kind enough to remove some of that stuff, I can see this in the future. I'm going to try to give you an idea how it works. You can put that back on the shelf. It seems that a long time ago, women in America, and England, and France marched to try to get public library. Men were not that interested. Anyway, they had rotten eggs thrown at them. The same thing. Everything new and novel always had resistance. This is the public library in this city. Now, the women fought for a public library, and the people that gave them opposition said, if you make books available to people, they won't buy books from bookstores. Anybody didn't hear that? It would interfere with the free enterprise system. But anyway, the women won out and they got the library in. People read a little bit and they bought more books than ever because they knew more. They wanted to know even more. So right here I would have a camera center where anybody can come in and check out any kind of camera for your use. It's there for your use. Here you can check out any kind of musical instrument. It's cheaper to give kids things than put him in jail. It costs $50,000 to keep a kid in jail a year, and he doesn't come out any better. $75,000 for an adult. Privatization of prisons is big business. So the longer you keep them, the more you make. So you understand, everything's available without a price tag, like the library. Everything, all the necessities of life, your home, everything is made available. The earth wasn't put here for the Greeks or the Swedes. It's here for all people. If you're religious, fine. But I'm not religious. I just say if we use the earth intelligently, we can all live better than Bill Gates. There's a hard thing to get through your head, so I'm going to try to prove it to you. The middle-class American today lives better than kings in the past. They have air conditioning in their car. No king ever had that. So if you turn science loose, meaning innovation, turn it loose. Don't try to dig up nickels and dimes for heart disease, to do medical research in stem cells. We give every lab whatever the hell they need. We do when war comes. We give you airplanes and bombs with machine guns and sensors and radar, everything. Men, soldiers, are killing machines. They're not taught anything else. They destroy. Now, the cost of World War II, I'm sure you've seen pictures of Germany bombed out and France and all that. That's a hell of a lot of destruction in trillions of dollars. If you use that war money of all the nations building armies, protecting their private territory, you could have housed everyone on earth, wiped out the slums, build hospitals all over the world, and give labs whatever the hell they need. That's what a resource-based economy is. Sure, there are people that think the free enterprise system is good, because they are the advantaged people within the system. But the average person is not. They're used by the system. Lawyers would disappear in the future. I'm sorry if you study law. Businessmen would disappear. Bankers, advertising, gone. No parasitic industry, and all politics, gone. Now let me tell you what happens in this way. All politics. The second picture up there, second to me, I'd point to it, yeah. Would you mind pointing to it? That's the government of the future. No people. Here's how it works. If you have a computerized system with image screens, and you have, say, 6 satellites around the Earth, you get a hologram. You can project a hologram of the Earth. That's a virtual image of the Earth. And you can see every hurricane, the temperature all over the world, and with infrared cameras for 3,000 miles out in space, when you take photographs of the Earth, plant diseases show up as red all over the Amazon, wherever plants are sick. So here you'd have a whole picture of what's going on Earth, not some politician's view. You'd have every hurricane, every climate all over, and you'd have a model in your home of that unit, small. And all you do is touch it, and it tells you what the depth of the ocean, the height of the mountains, the population, just by touching it. How many of you ever seen that? I've got a model of it like that. Yeah, thank you, Roger.
Welcome to the Network Explorer. Touch the globe for information. The Pacific Ocean. United States. The Gulf of Aden.
Do the music from the different
Anyway, it'll give you the distance and every country, how many miles,
That's
how
awesome.
much time it takes to get there by air, everything.
Goodbye for now.
So if you all did that on the phone, that'd be terrific.